It's recording. Okay. Howdy, GR. Howdy, everyone. Welcome to the Other Books number 13. Let's see if someone went ahead and changed the stuff. Of course not. So, anyways, we are reading the book of Jasher. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that it's been a while since we posted one. Life has been busy for everyone. So we are continuing on today in the book of Jasher, chapters 40, 41, and 42. And if you want to listen to the book of Jasher, you can go to audio by LibriVox.org. And it's not just the book of Jasher. They got a whole slew of the other biblically attached books there. So it's worthwhile, I think. You can listen to it while you're working, or driving to work, or cleaning house, or cooking breakfast, or dinner, or eating dinner. Okay. Anyways, enough of that. Let's go ahead and pray in, and then we'll get rolling on this reading. Heavenly Father, thank you very much for giving us this time to come together and to read these books, specifically Jasher, that's mentioned in Scripture, just talked about in the book of Samuel that we're reading. And we just thank you for this opportunity and ask you to give us your spirit of knowledge, discernment, and understanding so that we can, get the knowledge and message that you want us to have and that will benefit us in serving as your children, as your ambassadors. We would also ask for your healing for people that are having trouble right now, both respiratory, colds sort of thing, and also people that are having trouble with their eyesight. We know you can make that better. And we also ask you to give those of us that are going through large volumes of paperwork a clarity to know what to do first and to see it as organized as we're getting it organized. And we thank you for that as well. Let this be a blessing to everybody that's here now and in the future, and we thank you for that. In Jesus Yeshua's name, amen. All righty. Okay, let's figure out how to do this share a Majer. We're going to start with chapter 40 and then present that and share this and click that. And I think I'm backwards here. Yep, I got to go back over there and then come back to this page and then hit add to stage. And look at that. All of a sudden, we're ready to roll. Okay, so Jasher, the book of Jasher, chapter 40. And the sons of Jacob led away all the spoil of Gaash and went out of the city by night. They were going out marching toward the castle of Beth-Corin, and the inhabitants of Beth-Corin were going to the castle to meet them. And on the night, the sons of Jacob fought with the inhabitants of Beth-Corin in the castle of Beth-Corin. And all the inhabitants of Beth-Corin were mighty men. One of them would not flee from before 1,000 men, and they fought on that night upon the castle, and their shouts were heard on that night from afar, and the earth quaked at their shouting. And all the sons of Jacob were afraid of those men, as they were not accustomed to fight in the dark, and they were greatly confounded. And the sons of Jacob cried unto the Lord, saying, Give us help, O Lord, deliver us, that we may not die by the hands of these uncircumcised men. And the Lord hearkened to the voice of the sons of Jacob. And the Lord caused great terror and confusion to seize the people of Beth-Corin. And they fought amongst themselves, the one with the other in the darkness of night, and smote each other in great numbers. And the sons of Jacob, knowing that the Lord had brought a spirit of perverseness amongst these men, and that they fought each other, each man with his neighbor, went forth from among the bands of the people of Beth-Corin, and went as far as the descent of the castle of Beth-Horon and farther, and they tarried there securely with their young men on that night. And the people of Beth-Horon fought the whole night, one man with his brother and the other with his neighbor. And they cried out in every direction upon the castle, and their cry was heard at a distance. And the whole earth shook at their voice, for they were powerful above all the people of the earth. And all the inhabitants of the cities of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Hivites, and all the kings of Canaan, and also those who were on the other side of Jordan, heard the noise of the shouting on that night. And they said, surely these are the battles of the Hebrews who are fighting against the 7 cities, who came nigh unto them, and who can stand against those Hebrews? And all the inhabitants of the cities of the Canaanites, and all those who were on the other side of the Jordan, were greatly afraid of the sons of Jacob. For they said, behold, the same will be done to us as it was done to those cities. For who can stand against their mighty strength? And the cries of the Koranites were very great on that night, and continued to increase. And they smote each other till morning, and numbers of them were killed. And the morning appeared, and all the sons of Jacob rose up at daybreak, and went up to the castle. And they smote those who remained of the Koranites in a terrible manner, and they were all killed inside the castle. And the 6th day appeared, and all the inhabitants of Canaan saw at a distance all the people of Beth-Horon lying dead in the castle of Beth-Horon, and strewed about as the carcasses of lambs and goats. And the sons of Jacob led all the spoil which they had captured from Gaash, and went to Beth-Horon, and they found the city full of people like the sand of the sea, and they fought with them. And the sons of Jacob smote them there till evening time. And the sons of Jacob did unto Beth-Horon as they had done to Gaash and Tapnach, and as they had done to Chazar, to Sarton, and to Shiloh. And the sons of Jacob took with them the spoil of Beth-Horon and all the spoil of the cities. And on that day they went home to Shechem. And the sons of Jacob came home to the city of Shechem, and they remained without the city. And they then rested there from the war, and tarried there all night. And all their servants, together with all the spoil that they had taken from the cities, they left without the city, and they did not enter the city. For they said, peradventure there may be yet more fighting against us, and they may come to besiege us in Shechem. And Jacob and his sons and their servants remained on that night and the next day in the portion of the field which Jacob had purchased from Hamor for 5 shekels, and all that they had captured was with them. And all the booty which the sons of Jacob had captured was in the portion of the field, immense as the sand upon the seashore. And the inhabitants of the land observed from afar. And all the inhabitants of the land were afraid of the sons of Jacob who had done this thing. For no king from the days of old had ever done the like. And the 7 kings of the Canaanites resolved to make peace with the sons of Jacob, for they were greatly afraid of their lives, and on account of the sons of Jacob. And on that day, being the 7th day, Japhiah, king of Hebron, sent secretly to the king of Ai, and to the king of Gibeon, and to the king of Shalem, and to the king of Adullam, and to the king of Lachish, and to the king of Chazar, and to all the Canaanitish kings who were under their subjection, saying, go up with me, and come to me, that we may go to the sons of Jacob, and I will make peace with them, and form a treaty with them, lest all your lands be destroyed by the swords of the sons of Jacob, as they did to Shechem, and the cities around, as you have heard and seen. And when you come to me, do not come with many men, but let every king bring his 3 head captains, and every captain bring 3 of his officers. And come all of you to Hebron, and we will go together to the sons of Jacob, and supplicate them, that they shall form a treaty of peace with us. And all those kings did as the king of Hebron had sent to them, for they were all under his counsel and command. And all the kings of Canaan assembled to go to the sons of Jacob to make peace with them. And the sons of Jacob returned and went to the portion of the field that was in Shechem, for they did not put confidence in the kings of the land. And the sons of Jacob returned and remained in the portion of the field 10 days, and no one came to make war with them. And when the sons of Jacob saw that there was no appearance of war, they all assembled and went to the city of Shechem. And the sons of Jacob remained in Shechem. And at the expiration of 40 days, all the kings of the Amorites assembled from all their places and came to Hebron to Japhiah, king of Hebron. And the number of kings that came to Hebron to make peace with the sons of Jacob was 21 kings, and the number of captains that came with them was 69, and their men were 189. And all these kings and their men rested by Mount Hebron. And the king of Hebron went out with his 3 captains and 9 men. And these kings resolved to go to the sons of Jacob to make peace. And they said unto the king of Hebron, Go thou before us with thy men, and speak for us unto the sons of Jacob, and we will come after thee and confirm thy words. And the king of Hebron did so. And the sons of Jacob heard all that the kings of Canaan had gathered together and rested in Hebron. And the sons of Jacob sent 4 of their servants as spies, saying, Go and spy these kings, and search and examine their men, whether they are few or many. And if they are but few in number, number them all, and come back. And the servants of Jacob went secretly to the kings, as did the sons of Jacob who commanded them. And on that day they came back to the sons of Jacob and said unto them, We came unto these kings, and they are but few in number, and we numbered them all, and behold, they were 288 kings and men. And the sons of Jacob said, They are but few in number, therefore we will not all go out to them. And in the morning the sons of Jacob rose up and chose 62 of their men, and 10 of the sons of Jacob went with them. And they girt on their weapons of war, for they said, They are coming to make war with us. For they knew not that they were coming to make peace with them. And the sons of Jacob went with their servants to the gate of Shechem toward those kings, and their father Jacob was with them. And when they had come forth, behold, the king of Hebron and his 3 captains and 9 men with him were coming along the road against the sons of Jacob. And the sons of Jacob lifted up their eyes and saw at a distance Japhiah, king of Hebron, with his captains coming toward him. And the sons of Jacob took their stand at the place of the gate of Shechem and did not proceed. And the king of Hebron continued to advance, he and his captains, until he came nigh to the sons of Jacob. And he and his captains bowed down to them to the ground. And the king of Hebron sat with his captains before Jacob and his sons. And the sons of Jacob said unto him, What has befallen thee, O king of Hebron? Why hast thou come to us this day? What dost thou require from us? And the king of Hebron said unto Jacob, I beseech thee, my lord, all the kings of the Canaanites have this day come to make peace with you. And the sons of Jacob heard the words of the king of Hebron, and they would not consent to his proposals, for the sons of Jacob had no faith in him, for they imagined that the king of Hebron had spoken deceitfully to them. And the king of Hebron knew from the words of the sons of Jacob that they did not believe his words. And the king of Hebron approached nearer to Jacob and said unto him, I beseech thee, my lord, to be assured that all these kings have come to you on peaceable terms, for they have not come with all their men, neither did they bring their weapons of war with them, for they have come to seek peace from my lord and his sons. And the sons of Jacob answered the king of Hebron, saying, Send thou to all these kings, and if thou speakest the truth unto us, let them each come singly before us. And if they come unto us unarmed, we shall know that they seek peace from us. And Japhiah, king of Hebron, sent one of his men to the kings, and they all came before the sons of Jacob and bowed down to the ground. And these kings sat before Jacob and his sons, and they spoke unto them, saying, We have heard all that you did unto the kings of the Amorites with your sword, an exceedingly mighty arm, so that no man could stand up before you. And we were afraid of you for the sake of our lives, lest it should befall us as it did to them. So we have come unto you to form a treaty of peace between us. And now, therefore, contract with us a covenant of peace and truth, that you will not meddle with us, inasmuch as we have not meddled with you. And the sons of Jacob knew that they had really come to seek peace from them. And the sons of Jacob listened to them and formed a covenant with them. And the sons of Jacob swore unto them that they would not meddle with them. And all the kings of the Canaanites swore also to them. And the sons of Jacob made them tributary from that day forward. And after this all, the captains of these kings came with their men before Jacob, with presents in their hands for Jacob and his sons, and they bowed down to him to the ground. And these kings then urged the sons of Jacob and begged of them to return all the spoil they had captured from the 7 cities of the Amorites. And the sons of Jacob did so. And they returned all that they had captured, the women, the little ones, the cattle, and all the spoil which they had taken. And they sent them off, and they went away each to his city. And all these kings again bowed down to the sons of Jacob, and they sent or brought them many gifts in those days. And the sons of Jacob sent off these kings and their men, and they went peaceably away from them to their cities. And the sons of Jacob also returned to their home to Shechem. And there was peace from that day forward between the sons of Jacob and the kings of the Canaanites until the children of Israel came to inherit the land of Canaan. Jasher chapter 41. And at the revolution of the year, the sons of Jacob journeyed from Shechem, and they came to Hebron to their father Isaac, and they dwelt there. But their flocks and herds they fed daily in Shechem, for there was there in those days good and fat pasture. And Jacob and his sons and all their household dwelt in the valley of Hebron. And it was in those days, in that year, being the 106th year of the life of Jacob, in the 10th year of Jacob's coming from Padan Aram, that Leah, the wife of Jacob, died. She was 51 years old when she died in Hebron. And Jacob and his sons buried her in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which is in Hebron, which Abraham had bought from the children of Heth for the possession of a burial place. And the sons of Jacob dwelt with their father in the valley of Hebron, and all the inhabitants of the land knew their strength, and their fame went throughout the land. And Joseph, the son of Jacob, and his brother Benjamin, the sons of Rachel, the wife of Jacob, were yet young in those days, and did not go out with their brethren during their battles in all the cities of the Amorites. And when Joseph saw the strength of his brethren and their greatness, he praised them and extolled them, but he ranked himself greater than them, and extolled himself above them. And Jacob his father also loved him more than any of his sons, for he was a son of his old age, and through his love toward him he made him a coat of many colors. And when Joseph saw that his father loved him more than his brethren, he continued to exalt himself above his brethren, and he brought in unto his father evil reports concerning them. And the sons of Jacob, seeing the whole of Joseph's conduct toward them, and that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him all the days. And Joseph was 17 years old, and he was still magnifying himself above his brethren, and thought of raising himself above them. At that time he dreamed a dream, and he came unto his brothers and told them his dream, and said unto them, I dreamed a dream, and behold, we were all binding sheaves in the field, and my sheaf rose and placed itself upon the ground, and your sheaves surrounded it and bowed down to it. And his brethren answered him and said unto him, What meaneth this dream that thou didst dream? Dost thou imagine in thy heart to reign or rule over us? And he still came and told the thing to his father Jacob. And Jacob kissed Joseph when he heard these words from his mouth, and Jacob blessed Joseph. And when the sons of Jacob saw that their father had blessed Joseph and kissed him, and that he loved him exceedingly, they became jealous of him and hated him the more. And after this, Joseph dreamed another dream and related to the dream to his father in the presence of his brethren. Joseph said unto his father and brethren, Behold, I have again dreamed a dream. And behold, the sun and moon and the 11 stars bowed down to me. And his father heard the words of Joseph and his dream, and seeing that his brethren hated Joseph on account of this matter, Jacob therefore rebuked Joseph before his brethren on account of this thing, saying, What meaneth this dream which thou hast dreamed, and this magnifying of thyself before thy brethren who are older than thou art? Dost thou imagine in thy heart, and that I and thy mother and thy 11 brethren will come and bow down to thee, that thou speakest these things? And his brethren were jealous of him on account of his words and his dreams, and they continued to hate him. And Jacob reserved the dreams in his heart. And the sons of Jacob went one day to feed their father's flock in Shechem, for they were still herdsmen in those days. And whilst the sons of Jacob were that day feeding in Shechem, they delayed. And the time of the gathering in the cattle was past, and they had not arrived.
And Jacob saw that his sons were delayed in Shechem. And Jacob said within himself, Peradventure the people of Shechem have risen up to fight against them. Therefore they have delayed coming this day. And Jacob called Joseph his son and commanded him, saying, Behold, thy brethren are feeding in Shechem this day, and behold, they have not yet come back. Go now, therefore, and see where they are, and bring me word back concerning the welfare of thy brethren and the welfare of the flock. And Jacob sent his son Joseph to the valley of Hebron, and Joseph came for his brothers to Shechem. He could not find them, and Joseph went about the field which was near Shechem to see where his brothers had turned. And he missed his road in the wilderness, and knew not which way he should go. And an angel of the Lord found him wandering in the road toward the field. And Joseph said unto the angel of the Lord, I seek my brethren. Hast thou not heard where they are feeding? And the angel of the Lord said unto Joseph, I saw thy brethren feeding here, and I heard them say they would go to feed in Dothan. And Joseph hearkened to the voice of the angel of the Lord, and he went to his brethren in Dothan, and he found them in Dothan feeding the flock. And Joseph advanced to his brethren, and before he had come nigh unto them, they had resolved to slay him. And Simeon said to his brethren, Behold, the man of dreams is coming unto us this day, and now therefore come and let us kill him and cast him in one of the pits that are in the wilderness. And when his father shall seek him from us, we will say an evil beast has devoured him. And Reuben heard the words of his brethren concerning Joseph, and he said unto them, You should not do this thing, for how can we look up to our father Jacob? Cast him into this pit to die there, but stretch forth not a hand upon him to spill his blood. And Reuben said this in order to deliver him from their hand, and to bring him back to his father. And when Joseph came to his brethren, he sat before them. And they rose upon him and seized him, and smote him to the earth, and stripped the coat of many colors which he had on. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and in the pit there was no water, but serpents and scorpions. And Joseph was afraid of the serpents and scorpions that were in the pit. And Joseph cried out with a loud voice, and the Lord hid the serpents and scorpions in the sides of the pit, and they did no harm to Joseph. And Joseph called out from the pit to his brethren, and said unto them, What have I done unto you, and in what have I sinned? Why do you not fear the Lord concerning me? Am I not of your bones and flesh? And is not Jacob your father my father? Why do you do this thing unto me this day, and how will you be able to look up to our father Jacob? And he continued to cry out and call unto his brethren from the pit. And he said, O Judah, Simeon, and Levi, my brethren, lift me up from the place of darkness in which you have placed me, and come this day to have compassion on me. Ye children of the Lord, and sons of Jacob my father. And if I have sinned unto you, are you not the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? If they saw an orphan, they had compassion over him, or one that was hungry, they gave him bread to eat, or one that was thirsty, they gave him water to drink, or one that was naked, they covered him with garments. And how then will you withhold your pity from your brother? For I am of your flesh and bones. And if I have sinned unto you, surely you will do this on account of my father. And Joseph spoke these words from the pit, and his brethren could not listen to him, nor incline their ears to the words of Joseph. And Joseph was crying and weeping in the pit. Excuse me. And Joseph said, Oh, that my father knew this day the act which my brothers have done unto me, and the words which they have this day spoken unto me. And all his brethren heard his cries and weeping in the pit. And his brethren went and removed themselves from the pit, so that they might not hear the cries of Joseph and his weeping in the pit. And they went and sat on the opposite side, about the distance of a bow shot. And they sat there to eat bread, and whilst they were eating, they held counsel together what was to be done with him, whether to slay him or to bring him back to his father. They were holding the counsel when they lifted up their eyes and saw, and behold, there was a company of Ishmaelites coming at a distance by the road of Gilead, going down to Egypt. And Judah said unto them, What gain will it be to us if we slay our brother? Peradventure God will require him from us. This then is the counsel proposed concerning him, which you shall do unto him. Behold, this company of Ishmaelites going down to Egypt. Now therefore come, let us dispose of him to them, and let not our hand be upon him, and they will lead him along with them. And he will be lost amongst the people of the land, and we will not put him to death with our own hands. And the proposal pleased his brethren, and they did according to the word of Judah. And whilst they were discoursing about this matter, and before the company of Ishmaelites had come up to them, 7 trading men of Midian passed by them. And as they passed, they were thirsty. And they lifted up their eyes and saw the pit in which Joseph was immured. And they looked, and behold, every species of bird was upon him. And these Midianites ran to the pit to drink water, for they thought that it contained water. And on coming before the pit, they heard the voice of Joseph crying and weeping in the pit. And they looked down into the pit, and they saw, and behold, there was a youth of comely appearance and well favored. And they called unto him and said, Who art thou, and who brought thee hither? And who placed thee in this pit in the wilderness? And they all assisted to raise up Joseph, and they drew him out, and brought him up from the pit, and took him, and went away on their journey, and passed by his brethren. And these said unto him, Why do you do this, to take our servant from us to go away? Surely we placed this youth in the pit because he rebelled against us. And you come and bring him up and lead him away? Now then, give us back our servant. And the Midianites answered and said unto the sons of Jacob, Is this your servant, or does this man attend you? Peradventure, you are all his servants, for he is more comely and well favored than any of you. And why do you all speak falsely unto us? Now therefore we will not listen to your words, nor attend to you. For we have found the youth in the pit in the wilderness, and we took him. We will therefore go on. And all the sons of Jacob approached him, and rose up to them, and said unto them, Give us back our servant, and why will you all die by the edge of the sword? And the Midianites cried out against them, and they drew their swords and approached to fight with the sons of Jacob. Excuse me, Jonathan, can you take it?
Yep.
And behold, Simeon rose up from the seat against them, and sprang upon the ground, and drew his sword, and approached the Midianites. And he gave a terrible shout before them, so that his shouting was heard at a distance, and the earth shook at Simeon's shouting. Okay.
I got it. Okay. And the Midianites, verse 13, were terrified on account of Simeon and the noise of his shouting, and they fell upon their faces and were excessively alarmed. And Simeon said unto them, Verily, I am Simeon, the son of Jacob the Hebrew, who have, only with my brother, destroyed the city of Shechem and the cities of the Amorites. So shall God moreover do unto me, that if all your brethren, the people of Midian, and also the kings of Canaan, were to come with you, they could not fight against me. Now therefore give us back the youth whom you have taken, lest I give your flesh to the birds of the skies and the beasts of the earth. And the Midianites were more afraid of Simeon. And they approached the sons of Jacob with terror and fright, with pathetic words, saying, Surely you have said that the young man is your servant, and that he rebelled against you, and therefore you placed him in the pit. What then will you do with a servant who rebels against his master? Now, therefore, sell him unto us, and we will give you all that you require for him. And the Lord was pleased to do this in order that the sons of Jacob should not slay their brother. And the Midianites saw that Joseph was of a comely appearance and well favored. They desired him in their hearts and were urgent to purchase him from his brethren. And the sons of Jacob hearkened to the Midianites, and they sold their brother Joseph to them for 20 pieces of silver. And Reuben, their brother, was not with them. And the Midianites took Joseph and continued their journey to Gilead. They were going along the road, and the Midianites repented of what they had done in having purchased the young man. And one said to the other, What is this thing we have done in taking this youth from the Hebrews, who is of comely appearance and well favored? Perhaps this youth is stolen from the land of the Hebrews. And why then have we done this thing? And if he should be sought for and found in our hands, we shall die through him. Now, surely hardy and powerful men have sold him to us, the strength of one of whom you saw this day. Perhaps they stole him from his land with their might and with their powerful arm, and have therefore sold him to us for the small value which we gave unto them. And whilst they were discoursing together, they looked, and behold, the company of Ishmaelites, which was coming at first, and which the sons of Jacob saw, was advancing toward the Midianites. And the Midianites said to each other, Come, let us sell this youth to the company of Ishmaelites, who are coming toward us. And we will take for him the little that we gave for him, and we will be delivered from his evil. And they did so. And they reached the Ishmaelites, and the Midianites sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, which they had given for him to his brethren. And the Midianites went on their road to Gilead, and the Ishmaelites took Joseph, and they let him ride upon one of the camels, and they were leading him to Egypt. And Joseph heard that the Ishmaelites were proceeding to Egypt. And Joseph lamented and wept at this thing, that he was to be so far removed from the land of Canaan, from his father. And he wept bitterly whilst he was riding upon the camel. And one of their men observed him, and made him go down from the camel and walk on foot. And notwithstanding this, Joseph continued to cry and weep. And he said, Oh, my father, my father! And one of the Ishmaelites rose up and smote Joseph upon the cheek. And still he continued to weep. And Joseph was fatigued in the road, and was unable to proceed on account of the bitterness of his soul. And they all smote him and afflicted him in the road, and they terrified him in order that he might cease from weeping. And the Lord saw the ambition of Joseph and his trouble. And the Lord brought down upon those men darkness and confusion, and the hand of every one that smote him became withered. And they said to each other, What is this thing that God has done to us in the road? And they knew not that this befell them on account of Joseph. And the men proceeded on the road, and they passed along the road of Ephrath, where Rachel was buried. And Joseph reached his mother's grave, and Joseph hastened and ran to his mother's grave, and fell upon the grave and wept. And Joseph cried aloud upon his mother's grave, and he said, Oh, my mother, my mother! O thou who didst give me birth, awake now and rise and see thy son, for he has been sold for a slave, and no one to pity him. O rise and see thy son, weep with me on account of my troubles, and see the heart of my brethren. Arouse, my mother, arouse, awake from thy sleep for me, and direct thy battles against my brethren. O how have they stripped me of my coat, and sold me already twice for a slave, and separated me from my father, that there is no one to pity me. Arouse and lay thy cause against them before God, and see whom God will justify in the judgment, and whom he will condemn. Rise, O my mother, rise, awake from thy sleep, and see my father, how his soul is with me this day, and comfort him and ease his heart. And Joseph continued to speak these words. And Joseph cried aloud and wept bitterly upon his mother's grave. And he ceased speaking, and from bitterness of heart he became still as a stone upon the grave. And Joseph heard a voice speaking to him from beneath the ground, which answered him with bitterness of heart, and with a voice of weeping and praying. in these words, my son Joseph, I have heard the voice of thy weeping and the voice of thy lamentation. I have seen thy tears. I know thy troubles, my son, and it grieves me for thy sake, and abundant grief is added to my grief. Now therefore, my son, Joseph, my son, hope to the Lord, and wait for him, and do not fear, for the Lord is with thee. He will deliver thee from all trouble. Rise, my son, go down unto Egypt with thy masters, and do not fear, for the Lord is with thee, my son. And she continued to speak like unto these words unto Joseph, and she was still. And Joseph heard this, and he wondered greatly at this, and he continued to weep. And after this, one of the Ishmaelites observed him crying and weeping on the grave, and his anger was kindled against him, and he drove him from there, and smote him and cursed him. And Joseph said unto the men, may I find grace in your sight to take me back to my father's house, and he will give you abundance of riches. And they answered him, saying, art thou not a slave, and where is thy father? And if thou hadst a father, thou wouldst not already twice have been sold a slave for so little value. And their anger was still roused against him. And they continued to smite him and to chastise him, and Joseph wept bitterly. And the Lord saw Joseph's affliction, and the Lord again smote these men and chastised them. And the Lord caused darkness to envelop them upon the earth. And the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and the earth shook at the voice of the thunder. And the mighty wind, and the men were terrified, and knew not where they should go. And the beasts and camels stood still, and they led them, but they would not go. They smote them, and they crouched upon the ground. And the men said to each other, what is this that God has done to us? What are our transgressions, and what are our sins, that this thing has befallen us? And one of them answered and said unto them, perhaps on account of the sin of afflicting this slave has this thing happened to this day to us. And now, therefore, implore him strongly to forgive us, and then we shall know on whose account this evil befalleth us. And if God have compassion over us, then we shall know that all this cometh to us on the account of the sin of afflicting this slave. And the men did so, and they supplicated Joseph and pressed him to forgive them. And they said, we have sinned to the Lord again and to thee. Now, therefore, vouchsafe to request of thy God that he shall put away this death from among us, for we have sinned to him. And Joseph did according to their words. And the Lord hearkened to Joseph, and the Lord put away the plague which he had inflicted upon those men on account of Joseph. And the beasts rose up from the ground, and they conducted them, and they went on, and the raging storm abated, and the earth became tranquilized. And the men proceeded on their journey to go down to Egypt. And the men knew that this evil had befallen them on account of Joseph. And they said to each other, behold, we know that it was on account of his affliction that this evil befell us. Now, therefore, we shall bring this death upon our souls. Let us hold counsel what to do to this slave. And one answered and said, surely he told us to bring him back to his father. Now, therefore, come, let us take him back, and we will go to the place that he will tell us, and take from his family the price that we gave for him, and we will then go away. And one answered again and said, behold, this counsel is very good, but we cannot do so, for the way is very far from us, and we cannot go out of our road. And one more answered and said unto them, this is the counsel to be adopted. We will not swerve from it. Behold, we are this day going to Egypt, and when we shall have come to Egypt, we will sell him there at a high price, and we will be delivered from this evil. And this thing pleased the men, and they continued their journey to Egypt with Joseph. Well, that is a lot to unravel, unpack. So, Jasher 40. What do you have? I got a scan because I was reading that. There was something that jumped out at me, but I need to find it. So what was it did you get anything from the first part of chapter 40?
Okay. Yes. Okay. In verse 5,
Uh-huh.
about where it caused great terror and confusion to seize the people of Bethcorin, and they fought amongst themselves, the one with the other, in the darkness of night. Okay. Didn't that happen also later on, like with
Yes, it happened in when
was it with
the
Gideon or
no, it was later. It was
Elisha or Elijah or something?
yes, with Gideon, and also though I was thinking about when the lepers went out from the city that was under siege, and the Lord had moved, Yah had moved among the camp of the Syrians, I think it was, and got them to attack each other and flee. And when the lepers went down there, they were like, "Whoa, look at all this stuff that they just abandoned." So they went back to the city and told the king, "Hey, the enemies are gone. You guys can come out of the city. There's food." They had so yeah. This is a common technique of Yah. Also, too, when I think it was Gideon, wasn't it Gideon with the tops of they heard the tops of the trees, the mulberry trees, and the enemy heard like approaching stallions or approaching war horses and chariots and skedaddled. I would have to have
My memory is failing me right now.
it would have to be right in front of me to verify it. But yes,
Yeah.
this is a commonness. Um, in verse 6, this jumped out at me while reading. The sons of Jacob, knowing that the Lord had brought a spirit of perverseness amongst those men. So it's interesting because we tend to have one definition of perverse these days. But this is, and they recognize it that, Yah, that our Father is doing that. Having each man fight with his neighbor and his brothers, and they're just killing each other off. And it sounds like when you get to, it's down a bit, verse 12. In the morning appeared, and all the sons of Jacob rose up. So it sounds like they were basically just camped out. Okay, God has this. I'm taking a nap. That I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah. What's that saying? Something about nothing to see here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just rest. Okay.
Yeah. That's the very definition of let go and let God. That's right. Here we can study the other books, and we can also study bumper sticker theology.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So they continued killing each other. That very fascinating.
Okay. We see Shechem in here again.
Yes, we do.
Are these like the young ones that were not killed?
Well, yes, I would say them and the women, because that's also where they're going. Because it says in 16, right? And that on that day they went home to Shechem, sons of Jacob.
Because Simeon and Levi took care of a whole lot of the people in Shechem, or the men.
Yes, they did. Now, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe we're going to see something similar to that in modern times?
Yeah, I do.
Where the sons of the certain patriarch say, you know what, we've had enough, that you've way overstepped the bounds, so we're going to kill everybody.
They can't kill everybody.
Okay, we're going to kill great numbers of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what if Ben is going to be again? Okay. It gets back into that Ecclesiastes where, nothing new under the sun.
Yep. The thing that has happened before will happen again.
Mm-hmm.
So then in the kings going down, so they got, each king brings 3 of their generals, right? What we would call generals, their head captains. And then each of the captain brings 3 of his officers. So it's not a huge party of people, but it's still pretty good size compared to, the 12 sons or the 10 sons that are out fighting.
Okay. I'm taking issue with a little bit of this. Okay.
What part? What part?
Because Joseph was the same age as 2 of the other brothers. Okay. They were like all born within a year of each other. So why would those young boys be off and Joseph not?
Because he's the son of his old age, of Jacob's old age.
Well, so were those other 2. Okay.
Yeah, they weren't of Rachel.
Okay. Then they ought to be putting that in there, because when you go
Right.
back and you check and see when they were born,
They were close.
they were close. The only one that was the straggler out there was Benjamin.
Right. In that.
Oh.
So this, let's see here. So they have their weapons of war on, but the kings and their captains do not. They're kings and officers. And there was something else in this. Actually, it might have been the first part of the next chapter. That, let's see. Yeah, I think it's in the next one, so I'll hold it for a bit. That something that gets me about this, though, is every time they have a battle or someone makes peace with them, they're given a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff, right? I mean, that's a lot of stuff to haul around. Silver and gold and all kinds of concoctions of frankincense and myrrh and other herbs and things like that. Some good thing they gave them all those camels and other things as well, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure a lot of donkeys too.
Yep.
And you got to remember, okay, it doesn't mean that these people, even though they're considered nomadic, basically, kind of, they weren't constantly picking up and moving about.
Right.
They would set up camp and they would stay there for a while.
Yeah. More of a concept these days that we would look at, such as a yurt, kind of a more semi-permanent tent type of thing.
Yeah.
And that, actually, sometime back, I was watching a documentary on Turkish shepherds, I think. And, twice a year, all the old men and young men would get together and go, the first part of the year, spring, they would go up into the mountains and set up huge tents so that the entire family, village, everybody could come up into the mountains while they had the sheep eating the new growth up there. And they would stay there for 4, 5, 6 months. And then and now it's time to go back down into the valley.
Because the grass had time to grow down in the valley.
Yeah, basically snowbirds. The we're going to chase that good weather.
Well, the Native Americans did that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the thing is, that's the way I believe we were designed. I don't believe we were designed to stay in a fixed location for, an endless period of time.
Yeah. Not unless the weather is just pretty much ideal all year long.
Right. So that now it's interesting when they made this peace treaty, they returned all the booty. They returned everything that they had collected to the places they conquered. To the who was left, women and children in most of the places.
Mm-hmm.
Some they wiped out completely.
Okay, so is this one of the places where Judah picked up his first wife?
Possibly.
I haven't done a focus
dig.
study on that one, but
Could be though. So let's go to 41. And I have something quite a ways down, about halfway through the chapter, that jumped out at me. So we start off, though, Leah dies. And Jacob had already lost Rachel.
yeah, and this is where I wrote down the word ages, which I was wanting to question on.
For the age of the sons.
Yeah, when they were going out for the battles. Okay, and then I wrote down was when it was talking about the coat of many colors. I still think that was
That also jumped out at me.
that about the skins that had originally been made for Adam.
Right.
I really,
Verse 6 here, it says, he made him a coat of many colors. Of course, I don't have a Strong's concordance or whatever the other ones are, to check that word made.
yeah, but could that have been of something that was refashioned?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah, it's possible, I suppose.
It's just one of those things that just kind of gnaws at me. It's like, I think there's a lot to that.
Mm-hmm. So this, so we got in here, in this chapter 41 of Jasher, we really get a different picture of Joseph than is presented in Genesis. This, to me, this kind of has him as like the arrogant, snitchy little brother that people our age would say, he narked us out to dad, man. You little snitch. Snitches get stitches.
Yeah. Okay. I have a question written out here.
Okay, what is
I'm
that?
questioning when this dream actually happened and the wording in here. Because I mean, I think it mentions this in Genesis as well. Not word for word, but the same meaning.
Yeah.
When Jacob is, says, does thou imagine in thy heart that I and thy mother And thy 11 brethren will come and bow down to thee. Hello. His mother was Rachel,
Already gone.
already gone because she died giving birth to Benjamin.
And we have that confirmed a little later in this reading.
Yeah.
He's
So
falling
how,
on the
how would,
grave.
yeah, and how would he have 11 brethren if his mother was still alive?
Well,
I'm thinking there's been some a little
tweakiness.
tweakiness in here, and they're not thinking things through when they did it.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. And this also tends to make it sound a lot more like, from the brothers' point of view, that Joseph really had it coming. He had it coming.
Well, he might have been a little bit spoiled. He may have still had a good heart,
Yeah.
but he could have been a little bit spoiled.
Now, in Genesis, it doesn't mention the Amorites, does it? That he sold to the Amorites. It says he's sold straight to the Ishmaelites when that caravan is coming through. Is that correct?
I don't have my Bible right here.
Let me see. Let me do a search real quick.
Okay.
Not that spelling, it isn't. That. Okay. That. Okay, we're going to go to a different search. So, okay, 3718. Oh, maybe not 18. Oh, that's why. It's spelled with two E's in the middle. But then it's spelled with AE in other locations in Scripture. Ishmaelites. Yep. But it doesn't mention Amorites. But it does mention that was it Amorites or Midianites in here?
Well, weren't the Midianites, weren't they basically Ishmaelites? Weren't they descendants of Ishmael?
I think so. Let's see here. Oh, really? Okay. Well, let's look it up over here then. They're just being difficult today. Midianite, descendant native of Midian, from Hebrew 4080. Midian, a son of Abram. Okay. So one of the other sons of Abram that.
From Keturah?
Right. Or one of the other women. Or one of the other ones.
Well, it wasn't. Well, See, I was thinking I was thinking that they were from Ishmael. Because I think there are two sounding ites beginning with M that's like Midianites.
Nope,
That
it does say Midianites in the beginning of 42.
mhm.
So okay, where did I get Amorites from? Okay, so back though in 41, in verse 29 and also 31. Right? Joseph called out from the pit to his brethren and said unto them, what have I done unto you, and in what have I sinned? Why do you not fear the Lord concerning me? Am I not of your bones and flesh? And then 31, he says, bones, flesh and bones, for I am your flesh, of your flesh and bones. Everywhere else in any type of scripture, it's flesh and blood, except for after the resurrection, when Jesus says, am I not flesh and bone?
Oh, good catch.
And that is interesting because that there, Jesus, Yeshua, makes that connection to Joseph, who is also a messianic type in scripture. So that jumped out at me. That was 41, 29, and 31. So that, let's go to 42 though. Let us go to 42.
Okay. Oh, back up just a couple of verses.
Okay.
Because we've got this thing about the orphans and about feeding them when they're hungry, giving them water to drink when they're thirsty, and clothing them in the sauce. Links in with Matthew 25, 35 through 40.
Yes.
Yeah, words of Christ. About, how, when did we do these things? And
Right. Yeah. I never did that. I never fed you. But you did, Lottie. You did.
yeah. Okay, so we got 42 now.
I.
Yeah.
So Simeon, again, goes right to the sword to take issue with these Midianites. Here it has them different, though, right? Well, I guess they would be if one's from Midian and the other's from Ishmael.
Yeah. I keep thinking about him being in that pit and being with the snakes and the scorpions. Okay, and help me, but those words of Indiana Jones
Oh,
about the snakes.
I don't like snakes. It's snakes. Why does it got to be snakes?
Excuse me.
Careful. That, yeah.
It just pops into my head every time I
Every time you
read
read
that
it.
or hear it.
And then his buddy's no help either when he says, asps, very dangerous. You go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and then we have this very interesting dialogue once he's transferred to the Ishmaelites, right? And they can't stand his whining and crying. So they smack him around, and then the hands they smack him with wither, right? That's imitation of a withered hand. I would not want it to be withered for demonstration purposes. But actually, maybe we can find a picture of a withered hand.
Yeah. Ooh, and there's a reference about Simeon's shouting. Those guys had powerful voices. I keep bringing that up. Okay. So their descendants were powerful voices.
Right? Okay, here we go. You ready for this one?
Okay.
You're going to not like this. So this is the example for withered hand. Which isn't quite what I had pictured, but it gives people an idea. It's generally a non-functioning hand. A hand that isn't going to work too well.
Is there a picture?
Oh, I forget. We have to do that 2-stage verification that you want to add it now, which is beyond irritating.
I was sitting there, you leave it, and I'm the one on the screen. I'm going, am I the withered hand?
All right. That, let me pull
Withered hag. Okay. There we go.
Hardly. Okay.
Go.
Let me try it again. Oops. Share screen. Share. But then I have to go back over here and click share again. There you go.
Oh.
So I had something more pictured like skeletonized with skin on it.
Okay. That reminds me of that guy that had to speak through like a computer thing. The supposedly the scientist or really, really smart guy that was
Smartest person ever.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. Can't think of his name. Today is my not calling things quickly to mind today.
me. It's winter setting in.
Mm-hmm.
We're going into hibernation.
Stephen Hawking.
Yes, him.
Yep.
That looks like his hand.
Yeah, it kind of does. And the rest of his body. So now, what is your input on Joseph falling on the grave of his mother and hearing voices out of it?
Well, I mean, you had the situation with what was it, Saul and Samuel, where was it Samuel?
Mm-hmm. Saul called up Samuel through the
Yeah,
the medium
yeah,
that people call the Witch of Endor.
yeah. I mean, when it says to not be talking to the dead or dealing with necromancers, that means it can be done. But I think maybe she was allowed to say something to him to give him some comfort. I don't think he was into necromancy, but he was a young man, and he was very emotionally distraught.
Yes, he was. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I need to reflect on that more.
Yeah, I mean, but do I think he was into necromancy? No.
Right. So, very interesting. They are scared of the weather. They're scared of the weather. And then they say, you know what? I think we did something wrong, and I think it's linked to this kid right here, this
And
bargain basement slave that we got.
yeah, okay, okay. Thinking in terms of slavery, and they talk about when their descendants ended up succumbing to slavery. And I'm thinking the darkness that was put on Egypt. Okay, I'm trying that connecting. If the Lord caused darkness to envelop them upon the earth, well, he gave Egypt, what was it, darkness for what, 3 days or something like that? And we're supposed to see that happen again.
Well, and it also happened at the crucifixion.
Yes. What, 3 hours? Yes.
Well, period of darkness. And the funny thing is, there's historical accounts of that from all over
Hmm.
the place,
Yeah.
and people say, well, that's just a fluke. It's not the same period of darkness. Oh, okay. That's what you want to think.
Interesting. 3 hours, 3 days. I mean,
It's a lot of threes.
yeah, yeah. And let's face it, we've seen these total eclipses and they don't last any 3 hours of darkness. The
Right.
totality is only going to be a few minutes. Outside of that, it's like gray, you know?
Correct. I know. So, anyways, um, they get him and drag him off to Egypt. They're like, you know what? Let's not return him home because that's a long ways away. Let's go ahead and sell him for a lot of money in Egypt, and then we won't be cursed anymore.
They would have gotten a lot more money from his dad,
Maybe,
I
but
think. Yeah.
we have the advantage of having 2020 hindsight in knowing that Yah's hand is in all of this.
And if by chance, which we don't see, if by chance, if he mentioned his dad's name, do you think you'd want to be showing up and saying, hey, we got your son, pay the ransom with the reputation of Jacob and his sons? You
Well,
think they're gonna do that?
what do you, what do you think his brothers would have done?
They would have had to have taken care of things of, okay, if it's kidnapping, they know what the penalty is for that.
Well, also too, though, they could have said, we went to rescue your son, your favored son, and we killed all of them, but one of them killed Joseph before we could get to him.
Yeah. Yeah. But that wasn't in God's plan, so
No, it
he
wasn't.
put him where he wanted him to be at the time to be there.
Yep, and we'll be getting into that shortly. As well as who Judah marries.
Okay. Yeah. Because she was a Canaanite woman.
Yep. Funny how they keep popping up.
Yeah, wasn't there another one that married a Canaanite woman too?
Yeah, they keep popping up all throughout Scripture. So, well, everybody, thanks for joining in. Thanks for reading, GR. And you know what? Check these out for yourself or go listen to them, audio by LibriVox.org, LibriVox.org. Very handy. The only person I've heard read has a very nice voice. So, anyways, if you want to read more of these, you can go to sacred-texts.com, and they got all kinds of other books there that are all scripture adjacent. Well worth checking out, in my opinion. But again, thanks again, GR, and everybody else. Talk to you soon. Love you all. Bye. Bye.